Hello, welcome to another video. Last year I did a video really similar to this and I really enjoyed filming it because it's a really lovely time of year to talk about, and who doesn't love some good book recommendations that are going to fit perfectly into the summer to autumn transition. That's what this video is going to be, talking you through the books that I think would be a really lovely transitional period, going from the lovely warm summer months into the slightly cooler autumnal months as we see the leaves start to change, the days get a little bit shorter, we can stay in and have cozy reading sessions. Now I do absolutely love the summer months, they are my favourite months, definitely. For me, reading outside in the sun, there's nothing better. And to be filming this video is making me sad that we are going to be transitioning into autumn within the next month and a bit, I suppose, because summer is lasting us longer and longer. Global warming, not good. But I thought I would give you some recommendations of some books that you can enjoy going into the autumnal season and saying goodbye to the summer season. Now I've picked these books either because maybe they themselves take place over this same transitional period, or perhaps they're just books that I feel like would be that perfect read for either a day out in the sun, or if it's starting to get rainier, just reading inside, cozying up with a blanket. So first up, speaking of cozying up with a blanket, I want to recommend you this graphic novel series. It is the Tea Dragons Society, Tea Dragons Tapestry and Tea Dragons Festival. I said that in the wrong order, but basically the Tea Dragons, is it a trilogy or is there going to be more? There's 3 at the moment. These are adorable graphic novels and I feel like each of their covers at the moment reminds me of a season each. We have got some really stunning covers here, but this one definitely autumnal, the Tea Dragon Tapestry, which is the most recent one that at the time of filming this I haven't read yet, but I hope to be reading it like literally within the coming days, so I'm sure I will have read it very soon. But these basically are graphic novel books that cover the stories and adventures of the people that look after these lovely little tea dragons. They're so cute! Beans! The illustrations are beautiful and we do quite literally see a season breakdown within these graphic novels as well, which I really enjoy. They're just lovely and wholesome, they're very quick reads, they're very calming. They're perfect for this kind of transitional period, so I would really, really recommend these. They're by Kay O'Neill. Fantastic stories. Next up, I have got a Great Gatsby inspired 20s amazing historical fiction. It is A Sky Painted Gold by Laura Wood. Laura Wood is quickly becoming an author author for me. This book is the second of hers that I have read and I adored it. This takes place at the start of a summer, but we see that summer progress and by the end of this book we are at the end of that summer period, so it felt like the perfect book to recommend for that reason. I feel like it's brilliant to read at any point because it'll either make you reminiscent of the sun or it'll just make you feel like you're reading it in the weather it's describing, so either way it's perfect. But this follows our main character as she meets a whole new circle of friends and has a whole new life and tries to discover a kind of romance for herself alongside it and just fit the life that she wants to have and understand that that's okay, that that life might be different from the life that her sister lives, her sister lives, for example. I just love Laura Wood's writing so much. It's beautiful and lyrical, and this one definitely takes inspiration from The Great Gatsby, has that 20s vibes to it, the beautiful setting. It's set in Cornwall, partially takes place in London. I adore it. Next up we have got an adult contemporary and that is Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged, and this is by Aisha Malik. I'm gonna have to try and reflect my ring light off of this because it's a very shiny cover. The reason I put this one in here is because I feel like this transitional summer to autumn period can be aided by the kind of cozy books that you just read effortlessly. This is a contemporary, so for me that means it is a lot easier to read. I love a good fantasy, but sometimes I just need to absorb myself in a contemporary, and this follows Sophia Khan as she tries to find love but also who she is. She's under pressure from lots of different angles, from her work life and her home life, and it's kind of just seeing the catalyst of all of that come together and what really makes her happy and who she is. I liked this book because it felt like it had realistic moments in it. It felt like you could see these things actually happening. It didn't feel too over the top. It didn't feel like you were rolling your eyes. It felt like you were reading about someone's real life. This is a duology, and I really, really enjoyed the second book as well. But just generally, Sophia Khan is such a fun character to read about and experience, and I feel like you'll really enjoy this book no matter when you read it, but I'm popping it in this recommendations video because I think it would be perfect for the summer to autumn transition period. Next up, we have got the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. This is one I recently acquired and have added to my TBR, so I haven't actually read this one yet, but I am recommending this on good authority that it's a really brilliant book. I've seen this dotted about the place, especially front and centre in the bookshops, so I assume it's going to be a really fantastic read. I'm really excited to read it myself because this is kind of a book about books, but it's a book about a love of language. It follows our main character whose dad is putting together the first ever Oxford English Dictionary, and in doing so he accidentally lets a word fall to the floor and he misses this word as he's literally assembling the dictionary, and his daughter finds this word and wonders why this word has been left out, and she ends up finding quite a few words that aren't as important as others, or so they appear to be. So she begins her own dictionary, the Dictionary of Lost Words, and it's about that story, and it just sounds really beautiful and wholesome and just a bit different really, and I think the reason I'm putting this in here is because of that theme, like the cozy love of words and literature, and how I feel like this is probably going to make me feel when I read it. This one might be one I do as an audiobook. I mean, this hardback is absolutely beautiful, but I think this one looks really promising. Then we have got Meet Me in Another Life by Catriona Silvey. This is again another one that I haven't yet read. These are the only two on this list that I haven't read, but I couldn't not put them in because they seem to fit perfectly into books that I want to be reading at this time of year. This is, I think we could say sci-fi because it's kind of reincarnation-y, kind of other lives happening all at once. This follows two main characters who keep meeting again and again and again in all their different lives, and they start to realise this is happening and why is this happening, and need to go and investigate what's actually going on. This reminds me of The Next Together, which is a YA book that follows a kind of similar premise. I had to pick it up because of that, because I really enjoyed The Next Together. I think this looks really good and really intriguing, but I think this will be one that will keep me really gripped whilst also offering me that kind of magic but sci-fi combination that I do enjoy, because I don't normally pick up sci-fis, but that is like a really specific type of sci-fi that I don't normally go towards, whereas this kind of sci-fi, when we're talking about like a merging of worlds almost, kind of, I don't really know yet, but this is the kind of thing that I would be really interested to read, so I'm putting it in this recommendations video because I want to read it soon. I want to read it over the transition from summer to autumn because I think it's going to keep me absolutely addicted, and it's definitely the kind of book I think I would either love to read out on a sunny day, or if we have a colder, rainier day, under a blanket. Either would suit me absolutely perfectly. Next up, we have got the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston, so that includes Geekerella, The Princess and the Fangirl, and Bookish and the Beast. Now the reason I'm putting these in here is because this summer we have not been able to go to the conventions that we might have normally gone to. For me, that is YALC, the Young Adult Literature Convention that is held every year in London. It's now been 2 years since I've been to this convention, and I'm sad about that. We normally have conventions in London every 4 to 5 months maybe, probably a little bit less than that. I think there's normally one around the start of the summer, spring to summer period, then we have the July one, and then I think there's one in October, so every 3 months or so. And these books are all set within that kind of an environment, and it's just a total throwback to being at those kind of events, and I miss them so much. So the reason I'm putting these in a summer to autumnal recommendations video is because it's offering a little bit of nostalgia to the summer that we weren't quite able to have, and allowing us to cling on to the idea of the cons and that exciting environment where you've got so many people around you that just think and love the same things that you do, and it's got that nostalgia kick to it, and I really, really enjoyed the first two in this series. I haven't yet read the third one because I only recently got a copy of that sent to me for my birthday, so that's very exciting. But I just really like them because they're fun, they're sweet, and they embrace what it means to enjoy whatever you enjoy when you go to these cons and see all your friends and get that lovely embrace of feeling at home. and I haven't had that for 2 years, so I feel like I need that nostalgia kick with this trilogy over the summer to autumn period. And the final book I'm recommending within my summer to autumnal book recommendations is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. This is an adult contemporary following our main character who doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life now that she's finished her PhD. She's spent so many years studying that she just feels a little bit lost, so she ends up going to New York, where she stays with her wife, who she kind of accidentally drunkenly married in Las Vegas and wants to make it work. So she's gonna stay with her for a bit, figure out what she wants to do, and this is about her figuring that out. But this is also kind of set around that summer autumnal transitional period, and also I consider the summer to autumn period like quite a change. You know, you're entering into those colder months, you know they're coming, and you've got that transition and you have to kind of stay upbeat and stay positive. I know that a lot of people love autumn and love winter, but I also think that those months are often the ones that can cause seasonal affective disorder when the sun is not out as much, and it can be more difficult for some people with their mental health, myself included. As much as I love them, I can struggle. And this book kind of encompasses that feeling almost in a weird way. It did for me. This is certainly one that talks a lot about mental health and admitting our struggles, and we see that through our main character. And I think that this would be a book that would be a really good reflective book to enter into this new seasonal period with. And I just really enjoyed it, so this is my final recommendation. So those are all my books that I'm recommending for a summer to autumn transition. I don't want the summer to end, and I feel like as I'm filming this we're still very much in the summer, but I honestly don't feel like we've had many summer days. I think we've had some weeks that we've had heat waves for, but other than that it's been cloudy and it's been gloomy, and I need my sun. I need the sun. It makes me happy. Autumn makes me happy too, and up until Christmas I do feel pretty good, but when we hit January to around April I do struggle a little bit within those months, but hopefully that'll be better this year. Hopefully I can see more people rather than just being alone in my flat, but I don't know, lockdown will tell, COVID will tell, but these are the books that are going to help get me through it. Hopefully some recommendations to help get you through it. I hope you enjoyed this recommendations video. I hope you're enjoying the summer, making the most of it. I hope you're looking forward to the autumn months, and if you did like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It really, really helps. You can also comment down below what books you're excited to read in this transitional period, or if you've read any of these ones, do let me know. And you can subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. I've also got my Patreon link down below where we do many fun things. There's podcasts, there's a book club, there's dedicated reading vlogs. It's a fun time. So you can find that all linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.